you, Mike. Again, my name is Wallace Red. I'm also a county commissioner. I'm going to serve as your moderator today. And before I begin, I just want to let you know that the purpose for the meeting, the purpose for this particular meeting is to oppose the spending downtown on a plaza / park or whatever you want to call it. That's going to, we just had, as you know, a city property tax increase and a county property tax increase. And our speakers are going to go over, we have county commissioners that are going to be speaking. I was called by one city councilman, but he's got some health problems. He will not be able to make it. And Commissioner Butts will also not be able to make it because he had to work today. But with the other three speakers, I'm sure we're going to be able to get it done. My wife is also going to give out, I think you'll have a schedule of speakers. She's also going to give out later a paper. And this paper on there, it's got the names, the email address, and the phone numbers to all of the city council. And on the same page, just to make it convenient, it has the name and the phone number and the email to all the county commissioners on there. And just in case I forget, I want to tell you this now. Please call them and ask them to vote no, of course. But please call the city council first, because the city council will be voting on this measure this Thursday. This Thursday, it's that quick. And I know Robert kind of put this together in less than a week to have this meeting here. And I know a lot of you, I've messaged you and pleaded with you to show up and everything. But Commissioner Gibbs has put this together in less than a week to show opposition to this. But again, that is the purpose today. And we will give out those phone numbers. We're going to ask you to call those elected officials that will be voting on it. But keep in mind, between now and Thursday, just call the city council first. And after that, if you like, then go ahead and call the county commissioners. You know, we also, you know, I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but over the last year that we had our last county commissioner election and county mayor elections, we have had, or at least I've seen, you may have noticed it, maybe you haven't, but we have had a lot of people that ran for office one way, and then after they were elected, they were a complete different person. It's almost, if they could just change places because their whole personality and their whole being was different. I don't know when they had the mask on, folks, but I am telling you, it is every single month. We just got, while we were organizing for this meeting tonight, we just got a resolution in that's going to borrow $10 million, and part of that resolution that's in there is for the, guess what, the downtown plaza. The downtown plaza hasn't been voted on and approved yet. But that $10 million as part of the spending is in there, like on line 4, and it's for the downtown plaza. So here's the thing I want to say too, in case I forget it before I introduce Robert. That is this. Friends, I really do appreciate you, each and every one, for taking time in local government to show up and to help out. You don't know what it means to us, for Commissioner Hodges, Commissioner Gibbs, and myself, to have people show up at a meeting in this big a large group whenever there's a million other things I know you could be doing. And I know many of you are very active, like Kelly is with more of the national and the state politics. But let me tell you, I really appreciate you being here. I want you to give yourselves a big round of applause for showing up today. And let me say this again, a lot of people are that way. They're one person whenever they run for office, then after they're elected to office, they become a complete different person. Well, let me tell you, I've known somebody probably 25 years or more. And that person has always been the same person when he ran. He's the same person after he is elected. And let me say this, friends. If you run as a big government, tax and spend person, at least I will give you the respect for saying that's what you are. But don't try to sneak up on me and be somebody else, a complete somebody else after you take office. And a very good person, one of the best people I know that is the best representative of elected office that I've seen since I've been here in Clarksville, that is not that way, but is somebody that is true to the office. He's true to his promises. He's always been that way. Let's have a big round of applause for Commissioner Robert Gibbs and for putting this together.
Thank you, Wallace. And thank you for being here, ladies and gentlemen. For those who don't know me, I am the County Commissioner for this District 5. The proposed downtown park is located in my district. We hear about this overwhelming outcry for the citizens of Montgomery County to build this park downtown. The only people that has contacted me about this park is the ones that are special interest groups, government bureaucrats, and people that have invested interest in this project. And I've had a few citizens, but not many. That's a very small percentage of the people of Montgomery County that is for this. I have talked to my constituents and I've talked to people in all districts of Montgomery County. They feel we have enough parks downtown. We have Valley Brook Park. Marycourt Park is right up the road. Right across the street here you have McGregor Park. Around the corner here there's Liberty Park. They feel we have more important things to spend our tax money on, like fire and police protection, repair our roads, sidewalks, and lights, and maintain the properties that we already have, and provide schools for our children. We have asked our department heads in the county to cut their budgets. We've raised the taxes on the citizens of Montgomery County. We are $320 million plus in debt and climbing. We need to take our tax money and spend on the needs of Montgomery County, not wants. The Civic Plaza is a want. I'm making a plea to the taxpayers in Montgomery County to contact your city council and your commissioners and tell them what you feel about this. With your help, we can defeat this, but we need your help desperately. I thank you for being here tonight, and I want to turn it back over to Wallace Rick.
Thank you, Robert. Yes. Yeah, our speeches are going to be short now. Now, I've not known this speaker quite as long, but I've been on the county commission. I've watched him vote and watched how he is, and he is a great gentleman. Our next speaker is Commissioner Arnold Hodges. Thank you, Arnold.
I'm not as loud as Wallace is, so I hope y'all understand me. Robert has pretty well summed it up. As far as being honest with your constituents, I ran for the first time last year and won the election. And everybody that I talked to, they said, Arnold, there's three things we want our commissioners to do. Keep our taxes down, stop wasteful spending, and get this county debt lower. And you can do this. Back earlier in the year, they come up with a resolution to buy 80 acres across the river here to build a multi-million-dollar park. Well, from the help of those people over there in the Cumberland Heights, Briarwood area, showing up and showing their support, and the commissioners get together, we defeated that thing. And luckily, the Davises was able to buy the property, so hopefully that's a done deal. The same thing can happen uptown here, but it can't all be done by the commissioners. You, the people, have got to contact people and talk to them about it, and it'll work. I had a man tell me over there when he said, I've got 10 votes right here on my road. It's going to vote for you, Arnold. But if you get over there and switch over with that other bunch, you're out. And I know that. So I'm for the people all the way 100%. I see a lot of people out in this crowd here today that is in my district. They supported me and I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
One thing I failed to mention, can everybody hear me okay back then? If you can't hear me, just raise your hand. Okay. I was thinking about bringing a speaker system, but I guess that we're okay. I forgot and failed to mention this earlier. We have the sign-in sheet, so if you put your name on the sign-in sheet, we have a loose-knit group that we are making called Right Way Clarksville.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Spread that applause around a little bit. This group, Right Way Clarksville, is probably going to meet once every 2 months or so to keep you informed primarily of what's happening locally here. And we might probably have the meeting in here or somewhere else, but if your name is on the list and you want to if you leave your name on there, we might contact you. I should have told you that before, but if you don't want to be on there and be contacted, just scribble your name out. We won't contact you or solicit you for upcoming meetings. You know, the park, the city had a economic advisor come to the city. He talked about downtown. This was Mr. Randall Gross. He's the economic advisor for municipalities. He did a return on investment study. He was scheduled to show up at the county, but they decided decided to disinvite him. Because, as it turns out, he said the use for the downtown would be better served for office space. Friend, let me emphasize something to you. This is the government-hired, TRC-hired consultant, and he did not come back with the right report. So it's been hard to hear from Randall Gross ever since. And I have a letter that is to the mayor of Clarksville explaining why he cannot go and speak at will. Because you see, he was hired from the TRC. He's got to have permission from the director of the TRC and those that had hired him. The parking space, if this was office space, the parking space downtown would remain. A park located between the bus station and a soup kitchen can be problematic for the area and law enforcement, of course, at late hours. Nashville has a similar plaza, and it has a lot of panhandlers and people there and dogs, and they do their toiletries, guess where? They don't walk somewhere to find a toilet. They do it in the plaza. You say, how do you know that? My daughter lived on a street in Nashville called Church Street. She lived almost directly across the street from the plaza. She walked around the plaza or anywhere she could to go to the coffee shop, but she would never want to go through the plaza because she would be asked, give me money all the time whenever she would walk through that plaza from panhandlers. The purchase price that is proposed in this deal, the purchase price is going to be $1 million. This property was bought about 6 years ago for $500,000. It looks like, friends, maybe some of you bought property, you might have bought your own house you live in. Maybe you negotiated the price for your house. Maybe you didn't. Maybe whenever you buy a car, you negotiated the price of a car, or maybe you just gave exactly what they asked for. But this price on this property was $995,000, so we said we'll just give up a cold million and buy your property that was bought just 6 years ago for half that. This proposal to buy the property after they buy it, this is in the proposal. They're going to tear down the building on the property. If you look under the tax record, the building on this particular piece of property, the value of the building is $811,000. So they're going to buy a property at $1 million, tear down an $811,000 building, and then the other $200 and something thousand worth they're going to build their Parker Plaza on it. And let me say that when considering this is going to add to our debt an already $324 million debt. We just had a city and county tax increase, so-called, guess what for? To right the ship. Remember that? We were going to right the ship. Now, what happened to righting the ship? You know, it's one day we're broke, we don't have any money, we need tax dollars, and then the very next day we've got plenty of money, so let's go on the spending spree. Well, which is it? And when counting the cost, remember, local government's going to have to hire the people for the upkeep. Local government is going to have the police officers to police this area late at night. In addition to the $3.5 million, like I said, we've got another resolution coming up. It's $10 million, and yes, a downtown plaza is mentioned in that. There are at least 2 people that are voting on this issue. Elected representatives in the city and the county, at least 2, that own property downtown. Close to it. And get this, they are adamantly for this. They are pushing this probably more than anybody else, and they own property downtown. There's a better way to spend this money than downtown. This is what gets me. I'll get right to you in just a second, sir. Just hold that thought. Why does the government, first of all, feel like it has to lead people downtown? The county moved their offices out of downtown, and they are no longer there, but they're wanting to spend all this money in the downtown area, and then they have all these meetings and say, well, everybody is for it. If you're not for this, and you're in here after knowing these facts, let me hear you a round of applause. If you're not for it. Let me say this. We just bought a building in Fredonia, an old school building. The county voted to purchase that. In the last budget, there was no money allocated to fix it up. The city bought the waterworks building, the old waterworks building. That's the building with the huge tower here. Everybody knows that on Riverside Drive a few years ago. Guess how much money? They said it's going to turn it into a museum. That building that we bought 2 or 3 years ago. How much money do you think that we put into that old waterworks building where the chimney is falling off next to Riverside Drive? 0. That's exactly right. We have the Smith-Traherne mansion that is in terrible disrepair, and we put nothing in that. Friends, we are not good stewards of the property that we own now. And we're constantly just churning, wanting to buy more and more property. Well, and that's buying more and more problems. We have a lot of drainage problems throughout our city. We have problems with our streets. I live in my ward, we've got a street, Pollard Drive, where we put the greenway. I get calls all the time about how narrow that road is. There's no sidewalks. Fort Campbell goes down there. They do their PT early in the morning, sometimes in the evening, and people go to and from that greenway, but we won't spend a nickel improving that road that happens to be in my ward to make it safer. So there's a lot of things that we can already do, or parks that we already have. The parks that we already have needs improvement. And frankly, I'm just getting sick and tired of every single month. Every month, there is either the once-in-a-lifetime spending proposal. How can that be? If it's once in a lifetime, how is it coming up this grandiose big spending proposal or some type of tax and fee for every month? So, Robert, you want to say anything else?
No, I think you got it pretty well covered.
All right, okay. And, but that's my statement on this subject. And again, I sure thank everyone for being here. Thank you. Oh.
Has anyone run a calculation on what this ad valorem tax would amount to cover this $10 million resolution?
I don't know. We haven't had that. We haven't had the informal meeting on that
No, we
yet.
haven't even come up to us yet.
Now, did you give everybody the phone numbers?
Yes.
Oh, you did. Does everybody? Who does not have a list of the city and county phone numbers? And remember, the city is going to vote on that first this Thursday. So please call the city. You got tomorrow and you got Thursday all the way up till 7 o'clock. If you, no, that's a regular meeting. This Thursday's the regular meeting. You got Thursday until 7 o'clock. So you only got tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday during the day to either email or call the city council. Yes, sir.
What's the resolution for Thursday?
It's the ordinance, and I don't know the number on the city. That's a very good question. Yeah.
Do you have the resolution? You don't have the ordinance at all. You don't know what it says.
Yes, it's for to purchase the property downtown that we have before. If you go to cityofclarksville.com and you look up there, it will say agendas and resolutions, and it's got that down bar. You click on that, and it will show you the date, and it will have the date coming up this Thursday. But if you call them and just say, you know, I'm against purchasing the proposed plaza, and
you already
going.
have a first reading.
No, sir.
So this is the first reading.
Yes, sir.
So you have to have a second reading.
On the city, that's a very good point.
Okay.
We'll have two shots on the city. With the county, then the county will go.
It'll be one time.
No.
But what's the date?
Well, it'll be
You have to
September
inform-
the
you have to
8th.
inform the meeting.
But I mean, we'll vote on it just one
Okay.
time.
You've got 21 commissioners.
No, I mean, informal.
You've got 21 commissioners, right?
Right.
Okay, right as of now, you've got 12 that are going to vote for it. There's only one way to stop it, and that's from a referendum.
Thank you.
Yep.
You've got to do, everything you said is great. I mean, everything is right on. Ad valorem taxes means that any bond that the city or county issues is backed by ad valorem taxes, which is your property, the whole city. That's what ad valorem taxes mean. It's the whole city. Now, according to this, if you read the bottom of your resolution, when it's passed on the 15th, you have 20 days to get 10%.
That's the $10 million one. That's not
That's the 10 million. You
just,
can do
yeah,
it in
that's
two
not the
ways.
regular,
Well,
the
you-
3.5 million.
Yes, yeah, but this is in the resolution.
Okay.
3.5 million is included in that.
Exactly.
Oh,
Good.
okay, great.
All
Okay.
right. So you can either do it two ways. You could either get the county commission to remove that money for that plaza and vote on this resolution without that. Or if you get voted down, which I'm sure you will, you'll have 20 days then in which to get 10% of the people. I thought it was just 10% of the last vote on the county. But you need to check with Vicki Coleman, do the same thing we did with the conference center.
Right.
You can do it. It's not that difficult. You get your petitions listed out, but you've got to be ready by, approved by 14th of September. They give you 20 days from the 14th in which you can turn that in to the mayor, and they have to put it on the ballot.
How many do you have to have those?
10%. You'll have to get with Vicki Coleman and find
10%
out.
of the county? In 20 days?
That's, I don't know if it's,
That's registered voters.
that's registered voters. Now you read, I tell you, conference said we had 48,000 registered.
Okay. But that was more than the 20 days though, wasn't it?
Nope, 30 days. We had 30 days, I think, with the city.
The only way to stop this, Wallace, is like Kurt said, the only way to do this is by resolution.
You're gonna
You've got to do it right now, be ready to hit the ground running when that vote goes
You've got
down.
70% of the county that's against this.
I agree, yeah.
There's no doubt, but that 70% is not being heard.
Well, you know, if somebody gets the petition and starts taking it, I'll be the first to sign it. You know, and I'll take it around my neighborhood where I live there.
Well, what you got to get some county commissioners to write the petition form, print it out. You just go to Vicki Coleman tomorrow, ask her how many, out of that 10% you need, how many signatures you need. Start handing out the petitions to all these people here.
Yeah.
And I'll guarantee you will, and it has to be registered voters.
Okay.
And you get the registered voters to do it.
It's not the 10,000 voters, if it's 100,000 voters, it's not the 10,000 signatures.
That's right.
That's not that.
It's not that big. I think there was 60,000, I think there's a little over 60,000 registered voters, I believe, in the city, and another 20. It's really not that much. It's not that much. It's a lot, but you got to go the effort if you're willing to, if you want to go that way. I mean, you got to be willing to go out there and get people to say, hey, this is what we're trying to do.
And you gotta remember, this is the way, and Kurt was involved in that, this is the way we stopped that conference center from being built down here.
It's not against that we're against the conference center, we're just against that particular conference center downtown when we had to do all the road work and the sewer work and the parking and all that stuff. So it's not, it's, you know, and the same thing is
Robert, I'm going to turn everything back over to the man of an hour, Commissioner Robert Gibbs.
Well, I guess we'll prepare to close, but I just want to thank everyone for being here this evening. And I want to thank Cindy Serrero and the staff and all of G's Pancake House for letting us be here tonight. Did y'all have anything else, Wallace?
I got a question.
Sure.
Who is these two people on the property downtown? We have the right to vote on that names?
You talking about on the officials?
No. Well, whoever owns the property's got
Well,
something to gain. I mean,
That's Joel Wallace and Larry Riccone.
What's that?
who's the person?
Joel Wallace,
Who's the other one?
Larry Riccone.
And the next question I have, how is it you talk to these city councilmen, Mr. Red?
Excuse me?
I try to call the city council all the time. They won't even, they'll tell a voicemail comes on.
Right.
They never call you back. So what is the other option? Just to be able to talk to them.
Yeah.
It's kind of what you was talking about up there first, you know.
Yeah.
When they're running, they don't do everything. When they get in there, they no longer need to know.
Yeah.
So it's very agitating.
I understand, but let me tell you, if you call one time and it goes to voicemail, that's, and they might not call you back. But then if two people call and they have that on their voicemail, they're not going to call those two people back. But if everybody in this room calls them and leaves a voicemail, they are going to take notice of that. Believe me. Am I right, Dwight? You were on the city council where I lived long before I was. But let me tell you, that's why we have this meeting, is because it's large numbers, and you got their phone numbers. If you email them and you call them, and they get 25, 30, 40 emails or something, they'll listen to you, or at least they're going to take notice, you know. But you know, I can't promise. I mean, I return the call whenever people call me.
I've called you several times. You don't answer, you'll call me back. But I'm
Right.
talking about those people that you try to call, it's there just like you, and they won't return the call, so.
Yeah, but call them anyway and leave the voicemail. You know, some people would rather talk to voicemail, talk to them anyway. You know, I know I would.
Anything? Good.
Sounds like you guys need to start a recall petition.
Robert, would we have somebody to contact Vicki tomorrow and ask her how many votes, how many signatures?
30. Yeah, well, I'll check on it.
You'll do that?
Yeah, I'll do it.
How much?
She was out today.
Oh, she was out today.
Yeah, if we're gonna do this referendum, you know, we need to assign people who's gonna write the thing. We all need to put a little bit of money in to get it printed. How are we gonna get it to all these people?
Well, we can find out what we're gonna have to do, and then we can get the paperwork made up for people to sign, and we have a list here of everyone here we can contact.
Yeah,
It would be
that's one
interesting
thing.
helping do it.
We can send the referendum on people's computers and everybody can print up themselves 10 or 20 sheets.
Right.
We'll get them printed up.
I'm not necessarily for what you guys are here, but there needs to be a thing for Rome. 1998, we got out a mayor that was for 2 terms by 44 votes. And there's a lot, including my family, retired military that are police pleasant. And there's a lot of retired military and active duty that's not active in here. When we had the conference center, there was a group down there that wasn't very nice in some of the things that they did. And I'll tell you what, I've been here in Clarksville for 30 years, and I'm not going to stand for something like that that was done to get the conference center out. I have 5 children, or 4 children, that are married. I have a total of 10 votes in my family, and I see nothing but older people. A lot of the younger people with younger families are for this. Right, yeah.
They're not for having their taxes increased, I'll tell you that.
Well, when the taxes increase, ma'am, I pay another $45 a month in rent. That's what it costs my family. And if they wanted the parks fixed, they should have done that under Mayor Bowers instead of borrowing money to balance the budget.
Mr. Harper, would you like to say anything this evening?
Sure. Well, I was going to introduce
Telling the guys up front, the way to, there's probably 12 votes for 12, 13 for it right now. If you want to stop it, like Kurt was saying, that's one way. Certainly the other way, which I'm going to make an amendment to try to fix the other part, which is I'm going to try to separate the purchase from being a bond issue, because I'm absolutely opposed to that, adding to more debt. I believe there's a chance that we can convince others on the floor not to add, because it's a $3.5 million purchase right now, okay? If the city pays $1 million for it, it's only $2.5 million. I believe we can get some like-minded, I believe we can put enough pressure to get some like-minded individuals to agree to that. If we can agree to that, then we've got an ability to stop it. If that doesn't work, then we go back to the referendum part, which we can certainly do that. I think taxpayers ought to be voting on it. Personally.
Yeah.
And you know, so that's I believe the 2 avenues that you've got. If it comes up to a straight vote right now, it's going to pass, in my opinion. You know, I was one of the 10 that voted against the tax increase, fought really hard against that. That was an 11 to 10 vote, okay? This is, in my opinion, 11 to 10, 12, 9, in that range, somewhere like that. But a lot of people are opposed to adding more debt. They understand that. I think the conversation is to be phrased properly, is more about debt. We're not opposed primarily to a civic plaza, but what we're opposed to is adding debt. We don't want to add debt. That's not fair to the taxpayers. It's not a good idea, period. So if you come out, yes, sir.
Well, you know, the other day, I think it was Saturday on the radio, what's that Saturday morning program? Clarksville Review. They were talking to somebody from the EDC, and the gentleman, I forget what his name was, he said, we've lost businesses coming in here because we don't have enough office space. Okay, and then the report that came out that said we better serve for office space proves that we're not planning for what the businesses that we're losing. And I work up at North Central Institute. I was involved in giving a brief to a company that was looking to come into the airport. There's 2 parcels there at the airport. It was an engine overhaul facility. One of the reasons we lost it was because there wasn't enough office space. These are things that have to be addressed. Now we got Hancock coming in here. They're still trying to decide where they're going to put their North American headquarters. And if we don't have enough office space, we're going to lose that. And that would be a big feather in Clarksville's hat to have that North American headquarters.
I think the right avenue to pursue is about debt, okay? Not about whether the plaza is a good idea, bad idea, or anything. Leave that alone, because too much railing on that will cause you to lose the people that you could possibly get by talking about the debt. Because most people understand we don't need to be added to our debt, especially current economy. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Did you have a question?
Yeah, how much debt did the county have on January 1st when or in August when Mayor Durant took office?
322 million.
That was what he came in with?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. How much has he added to it since he's been in office since last August?
Now 342 million.
Okay. How about Mayor Bowers borrowing money to balance the budget?
We're not talking about zero.
No, you're talking about debt.
We're talking about debt.
And
we're
I
talking about
wanna know-
handling the debt. That's
I wanna
nothing,
know
Mr.
why.
Allen.
We're talking about beating the plaza. Anyway, David, if it's okay, but still, tell everybody to call the city councilman, because that vote still comes up this Thursday.
Right.
You know what I mean? Still,
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I mean, even if we're gonna do if we try to put this on a referendum, I'm all for that, but I just don't want people not to call.
Oh, I'm definitely not saying that. I'm saying when you call, frame your call around a couple of things.
Yeah.
Frame your call around, we can't issue more debt. We just can't do that. We can't continue to do that.
Yeah, that'd be a good talking point.
I mean, that's your talking point. Your talking point is not about the plaza itself, it's about the debt. The debt's the issue. You know, whatever we put down there, if we bought it,
Yeah.
would it matter? The answer is no. It wouldn't, because you're going to issue more debt.
Right.
I mean, to me, that's the talking point to try to, if you can, when you're in a situation where you're against superior force, what do? Okay? You don't come at them like front ways, right? You don't march right in there, and that's what you do. If you start railing on the plaza, you are committing a frontal assault and you will lose. I can guarantee that.
Go on dead.
Okay? But if you choose to frame the conversation about debt, you choose to frame the conversation about we haven't set up a TIF district, but there's pluses and minuses to it.
If you issue bonds, how's the money come back to pay for those bonds?
How do you think?
Taxes on real estate.
Taxpayers pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not being a smart aleck. I'm just saying, yeah.
So you lose no matter what. As far as increasing taxes go.
Yes, sir.
I'm having a rough time understanding. You're saying the city's gonna buy this piece of property, the county don't get involved, but me. If the city don't buy it, we gonna back to 3.5. Now help me understand where the difference. Why is the county gonna get 3.5 and the city's gonna get 1? I'm not having trouble.
Okay, the 3.5 is the cost to buy the property, to demo it, to demolish it, and prepare it for site construction. That's what the $3.5 million is.
You got a piece of paper I might sign up? I'm going to go start that construction company.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, fire
What
away.
you telling us, you got less than half acre of ground there, if the city wants, the county wants to put $3.5 million in a half acre of ground. Is that what you're telling us?
I'm telling you,
Bottom line, the half acre of
bottom,
ground.
bottom line, what they're looking at is not $3.5 million.
7.
Because at our last meeting that we had about it, I said it was a $10 million question. Okay? Because I've looked at the estimates that the architect's done. His estimates were about 4.6 million. Okay? I don't particularly trust those numbers. Okay? So you're looking at, it's not a question of 3.5 million or $1 million. I think it's closer to 10 because we all know what happens. You know, if you, right now, this project doesn't even have bathrooms. Okay? I don't know if Wallace said anything about that, but
You can go downtown in any block you want to buy down there, you can buy it for $4-5 million. Any complete street block.
yeah, and
Why would you want to give 3.5 because half acre ground?
I wouldn't.
I have one more question. The debt that we are into with him, where do we stand on that? When Byers was there, she said they didn't do no production by a certain date, they start paying us back. Where are we at as far as getting our 28 million back?
They've met all their obligations
Have
thus
they
far.
paid all the 28 million back?
Not all 28 million, but what they've owed us, they've paid us.
How much is left over coming back? I mean, that goes back into the kitty, right? Is there
The majority of what they owed was with the state, and they've been, they owe the state much more than us. But they've paid us everything they've owed us so far. Now, they're not through with their obligation to us yet. Hopefully sometime in the future, they will be. But, I mean, that's a good question. But I would encourage you, you know, if you're going to contact, talk about the debt.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Was that for David or me?
Well, anybody. Is it a good idea to call all of the council members or just the one that's for your district?
That's a good, I'm gonna repeat that question. Should you call all the council members or just the one for your district? I would like for you to call all of them, and when you do call yours, if you don't know who your councilman is, if you look on the back of your voter card, it will say ward, and it will have a number, and that will match up to the paper. For instance, if it's Ward 4, you would be calling me, and so on and so on. But try to call them all. But when you do call yours, tell them, you are my elected official. I am your constituent. And tell them I voted for you or against, however, but in case, and ask them to vote against this.
Would it hurt if I told all of them that I can campaign against you in your district if you don't vote the way I want you to?
Well, yeah, you could. Thank you.
Okay. I own property in the city, in the county,
Yeah.
Okay, I get taxed in the city, but I don't get to have no say in the mayorship or the council person that represents the property owner. I don't think that's hardly fair. I have been advocate about this a long time. They're taxing me and I don't get to have no say. The other side called, look here, paying yearly taxes from the city. I don't have no say on the side right here on the phone. Is there any way that a man can come along and put a resolution on the floor? Anybody that owns property in the city has the right to vote for the mayor and the council? the property that you own.
Do you live in the city?
No, they live in the county.
Okay, yeah. You can't vote for the city mayor.
Well, don't tax me then. That's what I'm trying to say.
There have been jurisdictions.
Just Rittenbury, they tried that before, and we put a proposal before the city council before, a long time ago when we had that, and it just won't fly. I mean, you'll just have to, that has to be a joint resolution, the city has to okay it. That's the city council. But get back to this point, because this is the most important point.
Right.
If you're going to contact Ms. Vicky tomorrow,
I'll find out.
you find out exactly. We need to get the petitions ready for when the county commission meets. And if they pull it out, it's fine. If they don't pull it out, you can start handing out the petition and you start getting it signed. That's the only way you beat it. You can talk about all the rhetoric you need. Action speaks louder than words.
Absolutely.
But still call your city council person this Thursday, because they're voting Thursday. You know, I mean, we don't have time for a petition between now and Thursday.
But you
Please
still
call
have
them.
a month, right? Because you have to have 2 readings.
Still, but call them in any case and let them know where you stand, you know.
What about showing up at that council meeting?
You can, you know, but if you call City Hall, you can get on the agenda and they'll give you 5 minutes to speak. They only going to allow 5 people, so that's a very good idea. You can call there and speak, and the same with the county.
They need to be at the county commission meeting.
Yeah, at the county commission meeting too.
But if you're going to do that, I agree with Mr. Harper. Frame your speech ahead of time and frame it on deck, not whether you want a fountain there. You've got to have hard, impacting words. So write it out ahead of time. No rambling. Look up Webster's dictionary for the hardest action words you can find.
The property we're speaking of, my name's Annette Carney. The property we're speaking of is across from Regional Bank. I want to know that that's Dr. Warner's property. Does he have a partner in that ownership?
I don't know.
Yes.
Does it?
He does.
At the city hall the other night.
Yeah. He has a partner, and Dr. Warner is a very intelligent man, and he's got a lot of good ideas. Now, you know, it wasn't his idea to build a plaza. He was going to build where he is now, and redo it. This came from a different board, all of a sudden it came from architects, board, and presented it. It wasn't Dr. Warner's idea. Need to support Dr. Warner because he's got a lot of good ideas. He will build the office buildings and the stuff downtown and the restaurants. We're not talking about those office buildings. We're not talking about that part over there. What we're talking about is that civic plaza, just the plaza. And some of that money that's in there is to buy the Better Business Bureau and to buy that extended. If you ever drive down that street, you've got to buy those 2 parts pieces of that.
I was just wondering why there's already some construction company on that property to go ahead and bulldoze down. Since I was there today, it's bulldozing there.
Yeah, I mean, someone was contemplating building a big apartment building there too, as well.
Why don't they let the individual do that?
Because there's a, what do you call the whole
He's going to do that.
They have a retainer on this property, had it for 2 years, to hold this property till they could decide what they're going to do with it. But like Wallace said, there was a developer that wanted to buy this property and build a 200-unit condominium complex on this piece of property with underground parking under it. But he cannot do that because there's a retainer on it.
yeah,
Now, if he builds that on there, one thing that happens when the government takes over a piece of property, you lose your tax base.
yeah.
Then we have to go borrow the money to buy it and maintain it. And if they develop it, then of course you got utilities, maintenance, and all that forever.
Restrooms.
The liability. You assume liability. Even if you're self-insured, you got to remember you have the liability now rather than somebody else, like Robert said. Hey, if you want people to go downtown, looks like an apartment would be a pretty good thing. They would already be there all the time.
Well,
They want to draw people down. furloughs and wide Johnson moved their dealerships outside of downtown. Because our dealerships draw people in, and then here's two great big guys down here.
That's right.
Who both their dealerships come down.
Good point.
Well, what did they do? You just talked about tax rate, they're moving those car dealerships out, they're giving that property to Austin G. That's more property than
That's right. Vivian Five Coat wanted, I promised her, right whenever we closed, she wanted to make an announcement. You want to stand up and say your announcement?
Yeah,
Vivian?
real quick. My name's Vivian Fivecoat. I'm the adjutant and the legislative chair for Hardis-Shelby, Chapter 45 of Disabled American Veterans. Mark this date down, March 9th. I'm bringing buses in to take people up to the Capitol, Legislative Day on the Hill. I'm working with the Capitol people. It'll be our legislative day. For how many buses I can fill up with the Disabled American Veterans being the lead. In the morning, we'll be able to sit in on some conferences, committees, whatever's meeting that day. They're going to send me a list, both for the House and for the Senate. I will let people know. And then in between that time, they're going to be more than welcome to go find your state senator and your state representative and knock on his door and sit down and talk one-on-one, two-on-one, three-on-one, and bring your issues to the state. I know one of the big ones for the Disabled American Veterans has been this reduction in property taxes. We're bringing that back up, come hell or high water. We want our benefits back. 23 suicides a day between the military is 23 too many. We want somebody to deal with mental health issues. We want issues on the homeless veterans. But I'll bring in as many buses as I can get patriots to fill up those buses. Right now, I'm negotiating with Grain Line. The cheapest I can get it is about $18, but that may come down between now and March 9th. I'm also arranging with the Capitol to provide us lunch in their cafeteria. They told me anywhere from $6 to $10. That'll include your protein, 2 vegetables, a drink, a roll, and a small salad. I'm negotiating on that. So mark that day. If you want to join us to be part of this movement, to go up on Legislative Day on the Hill, contact Hardis-Shelby Disabled American Veterans. I thank you for listening to me. God bless. This is here. This is now. Let's defeat it.
Any of the commissioners want to?
I don't have anything else.
Okay. If you get a chance, be sure and thank these 3 commissioners here. And if you call, and the others, for the what, you know, we would have had a much higher tax increase if it hadn't been for these 3 gentlemen here and the rest of us that voted no on that. So
thank you.
So say thanks to them. Yeah.
Citizens first.
I have to say this man right here was on the budget committee.
Yes.
He did a fantastic job.
Yeah, and he had to vote no a lot more times than we did. Because he had the committee votes and all that. So, thank you. Yeah.
I'd like for our county officials to take a survey the last 5 to 10 years at how many people, before this tax was in effect, these 2 taxes we got in 2 years.
Yeah.
And how many people had been sent out of their homes or they had to go live with a loved one because they can't pay their property.
Yes, very good point. You know, Council Lady Wanda Smith brought that up with the newspaper article of people that she knew, you know, that was on the delinquent tax list that was in there, you know, and there was some discussion there.
How many people are affected for that?
Right.
And that's sad that they can't even live in their own home.
Right.
And this has a big impact on veterans. That's why we're fighting this issue. Bring our rights back. Veterans first.
Yes. And did everybody sign in? Okay, great. So we're going to contact you. We're going to have a meeting periodically, maybe once every 2 months or 3 months or whatever. And my wife might call you or somebody might call you to have another meeting sometime in the future if it's all right. And again, if you don't want to be contacted, just scribble your name off.
Thank you,
Okay?
Wallace.
Thank you. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Robert.